Hey everybody, this is Rykard here again, and welcome to another Pokemon Movesets video. Today's video is going to be all about one of the new Ultra Beasts, Stakataka. So let's get started by taking a look at this Pokemon's typing, ability, and stats. So to start things off, Stakataka is a new Rock Steel type Pokemon introduced into Pokemon Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon, and being a new Ultra Beast allows this Pokemon to have access to the unique Beast Boost ability, which upon KOing an opponent's Pokemon will increase this Pokemon's stat of the highest numeric value by one stage. But for those stats, this Pokemon is insanely bulky. While possessing a very relatively low base 61 HP stat, it has a monstrously high base 211 physical defense, and also a really great base 101 special defense as well, allowing this Pokemon to take physical and special hits extremely well. And this, coupled with its defensive typing of Rock Steel, allows it to resist a lot of common types of attacks as well, making it even more effective as a bulky defensive wall. But offensively, this Pokemon is no slouch either, possessing a base 131 physical attack, which allows it to hit very hard with its physical attacks. And while its special attack and speed are fairly low, the speed in particular is actually somewhat of an advantage for this Pokemon, because A, it allows it to be very effective under Trick Room, which it can even set up on its own, but B, also allows it to maximize the damage of the move Gyro Ball, which deals damage based upon how much slower you are than your opponents. But with that, let's take a look at the first moveset that I have for you in this video. So for this first moveset, we're going to be running Stakataka as a just primarily defensive wall. So we're going to start this one off by giving it a sassy nature to increase its special defense but lower its speed stat because we don't need the speed stat at all, using the Beast Boost ability because that's our only option, and then running an EV spread of 252 HP, 4 attack, and 252 special defense to give this Pokemon its maximum special bulk possible. Now, even with all this special defense investment, we're actually still going to be getting a +1 physical defense boost with our Beast Boost when we do KO opponents, which is something to keep in mind. There really isn't a situation where the special defense will be higher to get a special defense boost, but it's just important to know what you're going to get from Beast Boost when using this Pokemon with a defensive set like this one. But for the item on the set, there's a little bit of flexibility here. Running with Leftovers will probably be the most standard option because it'll give you that added recovery at the end of every turn, but an Air Balloon can be a great choice as well to allow this Pokemon to negate one of its 4x weaknesses, which is to that of ground type attacks, until the balloon pops, and I just find it also a hilarious image of something like this being held up by a balloon. But for the last option, we can also go with the Chesto Berry, which will work in combination with Rest, which is one of the move options on this set. But more specifically, the first attack on the set is going to be Stealth Rock to allow this Pokemon to set up those great hazards on your side of the, or on your opponent's side of the field that will be damaging them every single time they switch in, which is always a great move to pick, especially for a defensive set like this one. And then we're going to be running Rock Blast as our main rock type attack on the set. It's preferable over Stone Edge just because you don't really need Stone Edge and it's more inaccurate. Plus, Rock Blast has the added benefit of being able to break through a substitute and then damage the Pokemon outside of the substitute after it's broken, and also break through Sturdy and Focus Sash and stuff like that. So Rock Blast is usually a better utility move for a more defensive set. And then we're also going to be running with Gyro Ball as our main Steel-type move, which, as I mentioned before, is going to be very powerful all the time because of how slow this Pokemon is. But for the last moveset, there's a couple of flexibility options here. We could go with Toxic as a way to status opponents, Rest as a way to heal up to full health, remove any negative statuses, and possibly use this either in combination with a Heal Beller on your team or a Chesto Berry of your own, or even running Iron Defense in this last move slot to allow this Pokemon to be even more physically bulky and more difficult to take down by your opponent's physical attacks. As for this next moveset, we're also going to be running Stakataka as a more defensive Pokemon, but this time as a dual screener. So this time, again, we're going to go with the Sassy Nature, the Beast Boost ability, and the same EV spread as before, along with allowing Leftovers to be one of your good item choices, but we're also going to be adding the Light Clay item choice as an option on this set to extend the turns of your screens from 5 to 8. And both of those screens are going to take up the first 2 move slots of the set, being Light Screen to boost your team's ability to take special attacks, and Reflect to boost your team's ability to take physical attacks. And both of these up will be able to support your team for a long time, especially support this Pokemon because it will be able to take hits even better than it already is, which is just absolutely amazing for this Pokemon's survivability. But also because we're running this more as a utility set, we're again going to include Stealth Rock on there to allow this Pokemon to set up the hazards to allow your team to obviously benefit from your opponents taking damage every single time they switch in. And then for your only attacking option on the set, we're going to go ahead and go with Gyro Ball this time, just because more often than not this would be your most powerful attack just because of how slow this Pokemon is. As for the third set of this video, we're going to be running Stakataka as a Toxic Staller, which it can do very effectively because of its great defenses. So like before, we're again going to run the Sassy Nature, the Beast Boost ability, the same EV spread, and also the Leftovers item, just like on many of the other sets, because that allows this Pokemon to maximize its effectiveness as a wall. But the moves on the set are really going to be what changes to allow this set to be effective as a Toxic Staller. And the first move, obviously, that we're going to talk about is going to be Toxic, because this is going to be your way of obviously statusing your opponents and wearing down their HP slowly and increasing amounts at the end of every turn. And to be used in combination with this, we're going to be using Protect as a way to shield us from damage for one entire turn, which will then obviously allow your opponent to take more toxic damage for free and give you more Leftovers recovery. Additionally, then we're going to run one attacking move on the set, which is either going to be Gyro Ball or Earthquake. Gyro Ball obviously being a great stab option because of how powerful it will be because of how slow this Pokemon is, but Earthquake also being a great coverage option as well because everything that you can't Toxic, being the Poison types and the Steel types, will take super effective damage from Earthquake. So this can be a great way to allow you to deal with those things that will be preventing your Toxic Stalling. But for the last move on the set, we're going to be going with Infestation. This is going to be a reliable way to trap our opponents and also deal a little bit of damage at the end of every turn, basically making it so that they can't switch out once they get Toxic and then have to basically just be Toxic Stalled by this Pokemon, which is a very fun combination to go with, especially on a bulky Pokemon like this one. Moving on to a more offensive set for this Pokemon, we're going to be running Stakataka as a Trick Room Sweeper, which you can do very effectively because of its great physical attack stat and the Beast Boost ability. So for the Nature and EVs on the set, these are all designed to actually allow this Pokemon to get a +1 physical attack boost when it KOs an opponent, which has to be done through kind of some crazy means. So the first thing is we have to give it a Lonely Nature, which will boost its physical attack but lower its defense stat. We also have to run an EV spread of 252 HP, 252 physical attack, and 4 special defense EVs to give it its maximum HP and physical attack possible. And then as far as IVs are concerned, you want to try to get 15 defense IVs or less to allow this Pokemon to achieve a +1 physical attack boost when using the Beast Boost ability. And also because we want to be as slow as possible to be very fast in Trick Room, we're going to try to shoot for an IV in speed of 0. But for the moves on the set, Trick Room will actually be the first move that we're going to be going with, which is crazy that this Pokemon gets that because of how powerful it is, but it can actually set up its own Trick Room, which is absolutely amazing. But then we're going to go ahead and run Gyro Ball as your main Steel-type attack, which this time we're going to be outspeeding things and hitting incredibly hard because this is based off your speed stat, not speed priority, so that is something to keep in mind. We're then going to go ahead and run Stone Edge as our main Rock-type move. And then for the last move slot, there are quite a few options you can go with here. You can either go with Zen Headbutt for some added type coverage, which is actually very effective against opposing fighting types that may be trying to deal super effective damage to you because you have a 4x weakness to fighting moves. You can also go with Earthquake for some more coverage, or Superpower in that vein as well for some more coverage, or running Stealth Rock as the last move on the set as well to allow this Pokemon to be a Pokemon that can not only set up hazards for your team, but also set up Trick Room and potentially sweep with it or support another teammate. But for the item on the set, an Air Balloon again can be a great option to allow this Pokemon to rid itself of its 4x weakness to ground type moves, allowing it a much easier time to set up Trick Room before the balloon pops. We can also go with a Life Orb to increase the damage of all of your attacks, or, and I would highly recommend this as well, possibly going with Rock EMZ to be used in combination with Stone Edge to give you a super duper powerful rock type move to use for one time. And Z moves on Beast Boost Pokemon like this are so good because it really allows you that extra power to get that first KO, to start to get the ball rolling, to increase your stats, and then make you basically unstoppable after that happens. You may even want to use the Fighting Z Crystal as well to use in combination with Superpower, but that remains to be seen right now in the current meta. And finally, for the last moveset of this video, if you don't want to mess around with Trick Room or just want to use this Pokemon as some Pokemon that gets the Trick Room set up for it, there is a Choice Band set that you can run for this guy, which is extremely effective and makes it an incredibly powerful threat right off the bat. So again, we're going to go with the Lonely Nature, the same EV spread, and also the same IVs as the previous set to give us that increased attack when we do KO an opponent. But this time, obviously, going with the Choice Band item, which will be increasing our attack by essentially one stage at all times, while also locking you into a move. And this added power right off the bat does really help this Pokemon to nab some really important KOs that it really wouldn't be able to otherwise. But for the moves, again, Gyro Ball and Stone Edge are going to be standard on this set, which allows this Pokemon to dish out a lot of stab damage. We're then also going to run Earthquake for that additional coverage, because especially this Pokemon does struggle with Steel types unless it is running Earthquake. And then again, for the last move slot, running Zed, Headbutt, or Superpower, as those are some of the best coverage options that this Pokemon does have access to. So while the previous one set up Trick Room and try to make use of it on its own, this Pokemon could either make use of it after a teammate has set it up, or just be a crazy bulky, threatening, and powerful physical attacker right out of the gate. But anyways, everybody, that is it for this video on Stakataka. I hope you enjoyed, and as always, take care, goodbye, and I will see you all next time.